country, and President Trump is punishing poor people for the No Kings rally.
For you guys, just watch it. Just watch along with me, please.
I don't support him. I don't like him. I think he's a corrupted leader.
Hello, lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strada. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us. You guys are the real MVP. So that is, I came across these stitches on my For You, and I thought to share with white Americans are crashing out to the fact that they are so disappointed and seeing that whatsoever that is happening in the present administration is just happening purposely to get them suffering. The thing is that they are crashing and talking about how the system and the American government or Babylon is crashing, and if time is not taken, people are just going to keep on whining and nothing is going to come out from it. Lovelies, I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. Alright, lovelies, let's start.
Not to take too much of your time, can I just show you this video? This is for my black people, you feel me? My liberals, my Democrats, white people who have actually put in the work to deconstruct the racism that they've been indoctrinated to believe was normal. This video is for you guys. Just watch it. Just watch along with me, please.
I don't support him. I don't like him. I think he's a corrupted leader.
I like these videos.
And yeah, it took me a while to come to that conclusion, but I finally am coming to it. I do not like the guy at all. The first thing for me was he didn't release the Epstein files. They're even acting like they didn't exist. And of course they're sending Israel and Ukraine all of their tax dollars, just like the numbnuts of the farm did. Putting America last. And now he's blaming the beef farmers for the price of beef. Hey, I'm not biased, man. He talked a good game. He tricked me. I was fooled. I admit it. Okay, now let me tell you how bad I think this is, though. This is really this bad, guys. I want y'all, if you're a Christian, I want you to get into Revelation 13:3, and I want you to read that verse. Yeah, about the Antichrist, about the one who was fatally wounded in the head. Then he was miraculously healed, and the whole world marveled at him and said, no man can make war with him. Yeah, I do think that Donald Trump is that beast of Revelation 13.
My thing is, if this is really what you believe, if this is honestly what you believe wholeheartedly, I think that this is what you gotta do, right? I don't feel like there's any words anymore. Just
fight back! White man, 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 fight back!
You feel me? You see where I'm going? Because my thing is, I've been seeing a lot of these videos. I've been seeing a lot of these videos on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you understand? And every time that I see them, I just can't help but think the obvious. You know, like, y'all know what the fuck to do. You know what to do. Like this video, for example. Just
my medication, it runs $20,000 a month without insurance. I make $800 a month. Oh, that will kill me. That would kill my friends.
Damn, for you and your friends.
Would kill millions of people in this country if they lose their health care.
People tried to warn you. You understand? I just feel like all you gotta do is just a simple 1, 2.
Man, fight back! White man, fight back! White man, fight back! White man, fight back!
That's all you gotta do. Why aren't y'all doing it? Can you do it, please? Can you do it? Like this date? Thanks.
Make Argentina great again. It's make Israel better. It's anything but America first. And now he's going to take away food stamps the whole month of November. And let me tell you what, 1 out of every 5 people that are on food stamps are veterans. They have fought for this country, and President Trump is punishing poor people for the No Kings rally. That's what he's doing. See, President Trump doesn't want to be president anymore. He wants to be the king. He's already established everything that he has to do. And look, you've seen what them young Republicans were writing, and you've seen that guy come out and say, well, this is just what all Republicans do and say behind the scenes. It's no big deal. This is how we all feel. They're all racist, male chauvinist, pedophiles, and now they want us to accept that. Look, President Trump's ratings are dropping like the rent on a burning building. He doesn't care that you don't agree with what he's doing. He's just going to start punishing the poorest of us all. And that's making America great. So it's make Argentina great again. It's make Israel.
This is not a political post. But you know how people are always saying, if you don't like it, then you can leave? Well, people are. And in rapidly increasing numbers. As you can see, this article reports that there's been a 102% increase in people who have elected for the expat lifestyle, meaning people who are leaving America to go reside in different countries. And the article goes on to cite a few key reasons for this. The main elements being socioeconomic factors that make it difficult and more expensive to live on a daily basis, gun violence and the lack of action to reduce it, and as expected, the increasing political polarization that exists within America. And it's important to note that other countries throughout the world are taking notice of this escalating trend, and they're putting together programs to recruit American professionals to their countries, likely to increase their GDP. I think this will be an interesting trend to monitor and see how it changes over the next few years, especially as this becomes a more realistic lifestyle choice.
All right, so look, people assume when they hear me talk about the collapse of America with so much enthusiasm and excitement that somehow I am naive. Like I don't understand what comes with that. Like I haven't thought about what happens when the grocery stores run out of food, when the banks close their doors, when the mail stops coming, when the world that people built their whole sense of safety on stops working. But I do understand. I've thought about it deeply. I know how it's going to look when the illusion finally breaks. Some people will panic. Some people will fight. Some people will freeze. Because most of them have never lived without the system holding their hand. And people always say, you ain't never been without the system. You don't know what it's like without America. You say you want revolution, but you don't know what it's like, okay? You don't know what it's like. But the people who say that are so immersed in this matrix that they do not even realize that they are a captive too. If they did, they'll be just as desperate as the rest of us to escape. Because when you're a captive, your first concern isn't comfort. It's freedom. You don't care what the unknown looks like. All you know is that you can't keep living in this cage. You'd rather face the unknown than die in a world that is already soulless. And that's what people don't seem to get. We're not running towards destruction. We're running towards liberation. And if the only way that we can get there is through collapse, then so be it. But my excitement, that's not ignorance. That's awareness. That's clarity. That's me understanding exactly what this system is, how it operates, and how much destruction it has caused to every living thing on this planet. The system isn't just broken. It's parasitic. It's been feeding on the earth. It's been feeding on the minds of the people. It's been feeding on the energy of entire civilizations. It's anti-nature, anti-truth, anti-life. It made greed a virtue and called it success. It made disconnection feel like freedom. It turned people into workers, into consumers, into dependents instead of creators. So when I say I'm excited about the collapse, it's not because I'm ignorant to what's coming next. It's because I understand what's ending. What's ending is the American experiment, the toxic mix of capitalism and white supremacy that has sucked the life out of the earth and has poisoned humanity. This thing has been a virus on planet Earth since day one. It destroys everything that it touches. It feeds off suffering and calls it growth. It built wealth from genocide, from slavery, from war, and called it civilization. It disconnected people from spirit, from nature, from themselves. It made humans believe they were machines, made to produce, consume, repeat, then die. It made the world sick, mentally, physically, spiritually. And that is what's ending. The idea that domination equals progress. The idea that money is more important than life. The idea that some people were born to rule and others were born to serve. All of that is over. That mindset already collapsed. That illusion is what's dying now. And as it dies, the planet itself is starting to breathe again. You can feel it in the storms, in the chaos, in the millions of people waking up and finally saying, enough! This isn't just an ending. This is the earth cleansing itself after a long infection. And as a neurodivergent black man living in America, I have my own reasons to be excited about this collapse. Because for me, this isn't just another chapter in history. This is karmic balance. One of the biggest lies that this country ever told was about us, about who we are and where we came from. They made it seem like all of us came here on ships, that we were all outsiders to this land. But the truth is, many of us were already here before Columbus showed up. We were the original peoples of this land, the first caretakers, the First Nations before they rebranded the word native. And this is not to discredit or take away from those who are recognized as Native Americans. Our stories run alongside theirs, not against them. It's just that somewhere along the line, they made an agreement with the same system that conquered us both. They accepted reservations, citizenship, and limited sovereignty in exchange for living within America's rules. We, on the other hand, didn't take that deal. We refused to bow to the system. And for that, our lineage was erased from the record. Our sovereignty was stripped away. Our tribes were renamed. Our true identity was buried beneath paperwork and policy. Then they forced us to build an empire that erased us from its story. So when I see this system collapsing, I just don't see an economy falling. I see lies unraveling. I see the ancestors of this land and of Africa standing together in the spirit world screaming, finally! You see, when you watch this country, this government, this system of white supremacy do what it's done for so long, seeing it collapse doesn't scare you. It feels right. It feels like the energy finally catching up. This nation was built off of our blood, our labor, our genius, and now it's collapsing under the weight of its own deceit. And when I see that, I can feel my ancestors rejoice. It's like all their pain, all their struggle, all their endurance finally has meaning. They're watching the fall of the very thing that tried to erase them. And that's why I don't fear this transition. Because collapse isn't destruction, it's revelation. It's the truth finally coming to the surface after centuries of suppression. It's the end of the illusion. You can already see it. The fake food, the poison water, the endless distractions, the burnout, the loneliness. These are not signs of a healthy society. These are the signs of a dying one. Every closed store, every economic glitch, every mental breakdown, that's the matrix cracking in front of us. You see, but I don't think what's coming is the chaos that everyone imagines. Sure, there'll be some lone wolves out there, people who lose their mind and turn violent. That's inevitable when systems fall apart. But most people, they're tired. They've been betrayed, manipulated, and exploited by the system for so long, they just don't have the energy to keep playing this game. And even though we all come from different backgrounds, different cultures, different stories, we all share one truth in common. We've all been victims of this machine. We've all been lied to, unnecessarily taxed, overworked, underpaid. We've all watched the cost of living rise while the value of life fell. We've all felt that quiet desperation of trading our time for money, just trying to survive. We've all been numbed by endless screens, poisoned by fake food, and drained by a culture that profits off our pain. We've all been made to believe that we are separate, competing against each other instead of realizing that we're supposed to be building with one another. That's the red pill moment, realizing that the they we talk about isn't just some mysteries in the shadow. They are the billionaires, the politicians, the corporations who built this matrix that profit off of our division. And we are all we got. And deep down, I think people are starting to feel that. They're tired of the separation. They're ready to build something together. They're ready to build community. They are ready for the collective. They want something real. Because once the belief is gone, the spell is broken. And when the spell breaks, people remember who they are. They remember that real power doesn't come from money or governments. It comes from within, from creativity, from unity, from divine intelligence. People have been conditioned to believe that collapse means apocalypse, that when the system fails, it's every man for himself. But that's not what's coming. What's coming is remembrance. Because when this structure disappears, people can rediscover community. They remember connection. They remember that survival and compassion have always gone hand in hand. Even now, the entire world runs on interdependence. We just forgot. Nobody grows their own food. Nobody builds their own shelter. Nobody thrives alone. They divided us with race, with gender, with politics, with class. Anything to keep us from remembering that we are one living organism. And when this illusion collapses, the truth will rise. And yes, it's going to hurt. That's part of the cleansing. When the fever breaks, the body shakes. It sweats. It purges. And that's what the earth is doing right now. Releasing centuries of greed, violence, and deception. And me, I'm not afraid of it. Because I've already gone through it within myself. I've already watched my own illusions collapse. I've already let go of everything this system told me mattered. The fake sense of stability, the fake validation, the fake future. And when all that went away, all I found was truth. I found my soul. I found the divine blueprint inside of me that doesn't need permission from something outside of me to exist. And that same blueprint exists in everyone. Some people just need the collapse to remind them. What's coming isn't the end. It's the reset. It's the reorganization. It's the death of false order so that order can return. Not capitalism or socialism, but consciousness. Not control, but cooperation. And when that happens, this old America is going to be repurposed. The land won't disappear. The illusion will. All the concrete, all the empty buildings, the abandoned suburbs, they'll be turned into something new. People will start using what's already here. You'll see communities taking shape in the ruins. Old malls turn into co-ops and learning spaces. Parking lots repurposed into gardens and farms. Highways quieted down and lined with food forest. You'll see people trading skills, not chasing titles. Electricians, builders, healers, teachers, all working together because survival will demand it. And after the initial chaos, life will settle down into something much simpler, slower, but richer. You'll see kids running through the neighborhood again instead of being raised by screens. You'll see elders teaching and not being forgotten in their homes. You'll see music and storytelling return to the center of life. And this time not as entertainment, but as medicine. We will rebuild, but not like before. We won't measure life by money or success by status. We'll measure it by peace, by purpose, by how much we can contribute to the collective. People will still have challenges. There'll still be disagreements, still lessons to learn, but we'll handle them differently. Without the illusion of separation, there's no one left to blame. We'll recognize that it is the same divine current that is running through us all. And as we rebuild, we will start to realize something. This whole time, the world didn't need to end. It just needed to evolve. The American empire had to fall so that humanity can grow up. And we'll look around one day and realize that we made it through. That even without the system, life continued. And not just continued, but become more real than it's ever been. So no, I'm not naive. I know what it's going to take to get there. But I also know what comes after. And that's why I can smile when I talk about the collapse. Because what's falling apart is the lie. And what's being born is the truth. And when the people realize that we had all the power all along, then everything changes. So let it fall. Let it crumble. Let every false idol and institution built on lies crumble under its own weight. Because from those ashes, something sacred will rise. A world that doesn't just survive, but remembers.
Y'all want to know one real reason why America's crashing out like crazy right now? Mediocrity don't hit like it used to, baby. See, once upon a time in America, you could be real mid and still thrive. Mediocre effort, boom, you get a house, car, annual vacation, pension, hell, maybe even a boat. You could clock in, coast through the week, grill on Sundays, and still retire with dignity. But that era is dead and gone, baby. And instead of leveling up or adapting, they're mad, they're bitter, and they're not even blaming the billionaires. They blaming you. They have the audacity to blame me. They blaming immigrants, black people, queer folk, anyone they think is taking something that used to be theirs by default. See, they don't want equality. They want comfort. And when mediocrity no longer gets them that comfort, they start rewriting the rules to rig the game again. It ain't about fairness. It's about preserving the lie. The lie that being average should still be enough for them.
I woke up this morning with tears in my eyes because of baseball. It's not just because I was up until well after midnight watching last night's 18-inning, almost 7-hour-long Game 3 of the World Series. And it's not just because I've loved baseball my entire life, especially since 3 Minnesota Twins players visited me in the hospital when I was there for 3 weeks when I was 7. That's part of it, though. It's because I had realized exactly what I'd witnessed last night. For those of you who might say that baseball is not political, brace yourself, because everything is political. And sometimes the things you most think are not political end up being the most political of all. It happened last night in the game between Los Angeles, a city attacked, insulted, and invaded by Trump's government all summer long. A city Trump spent $150 million taxpayer dollars to invade. One of the most diverse cities in the world, and a Los Angeles Dodgers baseball team with a fan base that is about 50% Hispanic, and the Toronto Blue Jays, a Canadian team representing a country Trump is punishing more than any other country in the world with his economic policy, a team representing Ontario, the province represented by Doug Ford, the premier of Ontario, who just spent tens of millions of dollars trolling Trump with an anti-isolationist Ronald Reagan ad, got under Trump's thin skin so deeply he took his ball and went home. This game felt like a time capsule, an almost 7-hour-long reminder of what this world is like when the United States is true to itself, memory from an alternate universe untainted by the hate and destruction from the Trump regime. This game was magic. Shohei Ohtani, the greatest baseball player who ever lived, greater than Babe Ruth, and it's not close. A Japanese immigrant living in California who doesn't speak English hit 2 home runs and 2 doubles in his first 4 at-bats, which on its own tied a record for extra base hits in a single postseason game. He was then walked in his next 5 at-bats because the Blue Jays pitchers were that scared of him. Those 5 walks also set a record, and it also meant that he got on base 9 out of 9 at-bats, setting another World Series and postseason record. In fact, the last time any player in any Major League Baseball game got on base 9 times in the same game was 1942. Shohei also hit multiple home runs in this game, for the 3rd time this postseason alone, setting another Major League Baseball record. This game included 19 pitchers from both teams. That's a record. In fact, both teams ran out of pitchers, and they were both only 1 inning away from having to use position players like second basemen or left fielders to pitch, or having to do the unthinkable and using a starter from a future game to pitch now, which would have thrown out their arm. One of the heroes in this game from the Blue Jays is a guy named Alejandro Kirk, a Mexican immigrant born in Tijuana. Kirk is the slowest runner in all of Major League Baseball, but he's also one of the best hitters and catchers, and it was his 3-run home run earlier in the game that allowed them to go into extra innings. Kirk was signed to the Blue Jays in 2016 from the Mexican League for $7,500. After spending his entire career with the Blue Jays, earned his way to a $58 million contract just earlier this year. In this game, we also saw the greatest relief pitcher duel in World Series history, with Eric Lauer of the Blue Jays and Will Klein of the Dodgers each throwing more than twice as many pitches as they'd ever pitched in a single game before, and 2 guys who gave up a combined 0 runs in those 4 innings pitched. Right as the game got to its record-tying 18th inning, 3 a.m. Toronto time, and almost midnight in Los Angeles, as the Dodgers had completely run out of pitchers, the Dodgers were preparing for the unthinkable to put in Yoshi Yamamoto, another Japanese immigrant who also doesn't speak English, a guy who only earlier this week pitched a complete 9-inning game, throwing over 100 pitches and winning for the Dodgers. They were preparing to let Yoshi pitch as a reliever because Yoshi offered himself up so that they could save Shohei Ohtani's arm for Game 4. Just as they were about to have to cross this bridge, the game was going to turn into some sort of Frankenstein thing. Freddie Freeman, a 6'5" farm boy looking dude with chiclet white teeth, a 36-year-old veteran who spent 12 seasons with the Atlanta Braves before spending the next 4 seasons with the Dodgers, and a guy who last year hit the first walk-off grand slam in World Series history, steps up in the bottom of the 18th inning. His 9th at-bat, he hits a foul. He takes 3 balls. Then he watches a strike go by, leaving him with a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And then on the next pitch, A no-doubter 406-foot home run to center field. A guy named Free Man winning the game for a city of angels and immigrants, while at the same time becoming the only Major League Baseball player in history to win 2 different World Series games with walk-off home runs. This single World Series game with its combined 19 pitchers and 25 batters, representing 21 different states, and I shit you not, 17 of the players came from blue states and 16 from red states, plus players from Puerto Rico, Cuba, Venezuela, the Dominican Republic, Canada, Japan, and Mexico, a city where 50% of the population is Hispanic. This game is what happens when people let barriers go, to find pure joy through a game that is rightly and unironically considered the great American pastime. This is why I woke up in tears. I remembered why I love baseball, and baseball helped me remember what it should feel like to be.
I seriously love this. It's just so disappointing that the almighty, that every other country is looking upon is as if it's just the best in the whole entire world. It's now as if it's turning to a third world, which I know is not going to do that. It all depends on the people to actually get things working out. But when I saw this particular speech and people whining, especially from the white community, and the disappointment that they face, and and thereabouts, I keep asking myself, to what extent, to what end they are. Let me just say something. These white Americans have everything in their hands. They are the ones who changing the narrative lays on. They have all of the means and all of the privilege to change whatsoever narrative that they feel that they can change. But all I just see is people just complaining this, complaining that, just waiting for black people to make the first move. I saw a video of his sister talking about how if the country really wants a change, the people who should do this are out there. These people already know that they are the ones who have all of the privilege to do whatsoever. But then again, the little one they did, Orange Man is still telling them that, oh, we don't care about you. Just imagine that everybody, as many as everyone who actually went out for the no king protest. So many people, I heard it's about 70 million or what have you. The numbers were high. They were protecting their frustration and trying to see if you can actually really sit down and listen to them. But what he did was to actually go on his, prepared a very nice looking cartoon character airline, flying above these people and preying on them, preying on its own citizens, to tell you that he does not care about the poor masses. Not only did he do that, 2 days or 1 day later, this is when we are hearing that food stamps is going to be cut off, the SNAP benefit is going to be cut off. Who does that? So I actually, when this man, the first man I staged his video talking about how Orange Man decided to punish the people who actually went out there for no king's protest by, using this SNAP benefit thing, I actually, succumbed to what he was saying. But the thing is that even in the process of trying to punish those people, you are also punishing the people who gave all of their all to support you. The people who supported you from day one. I wouldn't say, it's actually not going to be a shocking thing if so many migrant supporters are on these shoes, if so many migrant supporters are actually on, government assistance. Most of them are going to be affected by this. So at the end of the day, everybody is getting affected. Everybody is being affected. And with the guy that actually talked about how the Almighty is using this as a means to tell the world that, okay, we just done with all of the things that American have been doing to black, I still, succumb to all of his claim. And that's how it looks. Imagine so many other countries, teaming up and trying to leave the other mansion, or will I even say the other country that was supposed to be the all of all, leaving them behind. Things has drastically changed for the state, and nobody is putting hope on them anymore. America is actually a country that every other country depends on, but it's as if every other country now is on their own and trying to depend on themselves. And it's as if some of this country right about now is also trying to help the American people. Imagine your citizens also going out to seek for asylum outside, but your country was supposed to be the ones to actually help people, to help refugees, but now your own people are now going out there seeking for refugees. And this is actually what the MAGA supporters wanted. This is what they have supported with all of their strength and energy and what have you. But the thing is that these guys will never learn. I have seen so many people who still justify his actions. I've seen so many people who still like, okay, we still like him the way it is, even though there's. I have never seen someone that is suffering and smiling, and you still do not want to see, or still don't want to see what these other people are trying to tell you. Anyway, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We just here for educational and informative purposes. So, lovelies, if you have not subscribed, please do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button. Like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one. Lovelies, and just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what I think of this video. And please, if you've not subscribed to this channel, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button. Like this video. Please stay safe wherever you are, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.